Okay, Rocket, Charlie Dixon returns to strengthen up the forward line with Sam Day and Tom Lynch. Is it an area we can really stretch him, given that Carlisle's out for the year and Trengove, although Jack Compton's been really strong there this year?
Yeah, that's obviously a strength is our height in the forward line. Depends on the weather. Apparently there's going to be some rain, so that may change the dynamics a fair bit. But Charlie back in gives us a bit of an added bonus as a goal kicking target.
Brendan Materia's had a really strong month. He seems to be covering the ground a lot better and getting a lot more of the footy.
Yeah, his work rate really probably improved for about 7 or 8 weeks, but the last 4 probably is starting to turn into disposals and performance on the ground. So I've been pleased for about probably 8 weeks with him. Yeah, it's just his work rate. He's working a lot harder. He's getting more contests. He's providing an outlet for the defenders. So there's full credit to him.
With Sard, Harbrow and McKenzie all out for the season, we look a bit tall on paper with Clay coming back in. Is that just out of pure necessity, or is it to combat Port's talls and Schultz and Westhoff and Ryder when he goes forward?
A little bit of both, but we haven't got many options. We haven't got any small, real defenders to come in. So the only other defender is probably Greg Broughton, who's just back for suspension this week in the NEFL team. So yeah, it's a bit thin in numbers there. So if we got any more injuries there for the last game, we'd have to probably convert someone from the forward line into the back line. So but that's what it is at the moment. I've got a lot of injuries, but the players are coping with it pretty well.
Chad Wingard was dominant last week against Hawthorn. He's had almost an All-Australian season. How do we go about stopping him? Obviously, lower numbers in small defenders and medium-sized defenders. Yeah,
it's going to be difficult. He's a really good player, and they've got a couple of defenders out, but probably Wines is their only one in the midfield or the talented forward. So it's a big ask for our guys, but over the period of time, some players have been given big jobs and cope with it extremely well. So there'll be another challenge for someone who actually gets him on the weekend.
Earlier in the week, Cade Collar-Jasny mentioned at a press conference that he sees his future moving forward through the middle and on a wing. Where do you see his best foot? He's obviously had an outstanding year across half-back.
He has had an outstanding year. I probably at the start of the year thought he'd be an ideal winger, so we played him on the wing. Seemed to struggle with that, having to read the game both ways. He seemed to like the game coming at him. But he's gained in confidence and he's gained in maturity. His leadership's been terrific. So you'd like to think that down the track he could, be multi-positioned. He could play on the wing and play through the midfield. It would be great. But he's certainly in great form down back.
Zach Smith's got another massive task against Paddy Ryder, who's been sort of the catalyst for their turnaround in form in the last 2 weeks. How do you see him going about that? Yeah,
well, he'll need to be more aggressive at the centre bounce and be able to jump. He's got a really good spring on him, Zach, as well as having that height advantage. So I think he's just got to be able to use his assets and be able to be positive about that. Ryder's have got a good leap as well, but Zach is taller. So Zach was reasonable last week. So it's his first game back for a while. So hopefully having that run will make him better for this week.
Games like last week's a bit of a tease with Jack Martin because he was so great. How good can he be with an uninterrupted run and that sort of thing? Yeah,
he's still only young. I mean, you hate to build young players up too much and put too much pressure on them. But no, he's a talented youngster, but he's still got a lot of work to do. His goal kicking's an area. He can take some terrific marks, but drop some when he probably gets his hands to quite a few. But I think with another pre-season, get himself fitter. Hopefully get an uninterrupted run, as you said, and be a bit of continuity. He's another one we can play through the midfield.